For Elizabeth II, however, the worst was still to come: disgrace. Far from the United Kingdom in New York, Virginia Roberts, a spokesperson for all of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, agreed to be interviewed by the BBC. She was the girl Prince Andrew had had his arm around on the photo released by the FBI. Virginia Roberts was just 17 when she was recruited by Epstein. A teenager on the wrong path, she became the billionaire's sex toy for 3 years. Epstein shared her with his prestigious friends, one of whom was Prince Andrew.
How many times did you have sex with Prince Andrew?
There was 3 times.
And where was that?
Guylain's townhouse in London, Jeffrey's mansion in New York, and Jeffrey's Island in the Caribbean. Guylain tells me that I have to do for Andrew what I do for Jeffrey. And that made me sick. It was disgusting. He wasn't mean or anything, but he got up and he said thanks and walked out, and I sat there in bed just horrified and ashamed and felt dirty, and I had to get up and go have a shower. And the next day, Guylain tells me I did a really good job. She pats me on the back and said, "You made him really happy." It was a wicked time in my life. It was a really scary time in my life. I had just been abused by a member of a royal family.
Recorded in New York in mid-November, the interview with Virginia Roberts was due to be broadcast at the start of December. When Andrew found out, he panicked. Without informing his mother, the Queen, he decided to grant his own interview to the BBC, on the condition that it be shown before the interview with Virginia Roberts. The interview with Prince Andrew was broadcast on the evening of Saturday, the 16th of November, live from Buckingham Palace, which was deserted since it was the weekend.
July of this year, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and abusing dozens of underage girls. One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She says she met you in 2001, she dined with you, and she went on to have sex with you in a house belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No. That couldn't have happened because the date that is being suggested, I was at home with the children.
You know that you were at home with the children? Was it a memorable night?
On that particular day that we now understand is the date, which is the 10th of March, I was at home. I was with the children. I'd taken Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Woking for a party at I suppose sort of 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Why would you remember that so specifically? Why would you remember a Pizza Express birthday and being at home?
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do. A very unusual thing for me to do.
She provided a photo of the two of you together.
Yes.
Your arm was around her waist.
Yes.
You've seen the photo?
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't. Because I have absolutely no memory of that photograph ever being taken.
Do you recognise yourself in the photo?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult not to recognise yourself.
So it's possible that it was you with your arm around
that's
her
me, but whether that's my hand or whether that's the position, I have simply no recollection.
I wonder if you have any sense now of guilt, regret or shame about any of your behaviour and your friendship with Epstein.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming? He was a sex offender.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite, in the sense that he was a sex offender.
The following morning, the British press laid into Prince Andrew. Not one single word of remorse was the headline in the Mail. The Metro went one step further with Duke of Porkies, the Duke had a pizza alibi, was the ironic headline in the Sunday Times.
He not only blows it up for himself, but what he does is he reminds people of all of the worst things about monarchy, of all of the venality, all of the stuff that is old-fashioned, backward-looking. He said that he wouldn't have noticed all the young women around Epstein because they were servants, and he didn't notice servants. And, I mean, imagine that. Imagine growing up in such a way that you are actually blind to the people around you, that they become like this chair.
There was consternation at Buckingham Palace. The ladies-in-waiting averted their gazes. The advisors made a beeline for the exit. Elizabeth II was furious.
When the Queen heard the reports and subsequent news bulletins about the interview, she was not just shocked, but she was angry. Angry that someone in her own family, her son, had let the side down, had let the team down, and brought shame. And off the back of that, she took the decision, and a very tough decision, to effectively fire him from the royal family, strip away everything that he'd been involved with.
Andrew was encouraged by his mother to commit harakiri. I have asked Her Majesty if I may step back from public duties for the foreseeable future, and she has given her permission, wrote the Prince in a press release. Classic Elizabeth II.
The Queen is an authoritarian figure, but her genius throughout all the crises she has faced during her 68 years on the throne has been to not show that. Once the Queen became aware of the scale of the scandal, like an iron hand in a velvet glove, she got rid of Andrew. But the next day, she put on a show for the photographers and accompanied him to church.